What is going on, everybody? We are back. NFL Scoundrels. Here we are. My God, what a crazy week one. That was absolute insanity. We are going to be covering all the games, all the news, everything going on in the NFL, and who has bragging rights for this week, who was the boss in terms of picks for NFL Week 1. And we will also give everybody our predictions for the second slate of games on Week 2. I'm
Yes, sir.
I'm Logan 76, joined with Bob and Sturmboch. Gentlemen, holy shit, dude. What the fuck did we just witness Week 1?
Some of the
It was a hell of a
craziest,
week, wasn't it?
yeah, one of the craziest weeks I've ever seen in the NFL. In general, not even week ones, just some of the craziest week I've ever seen in my life.
It was nuts. There was things that happened this week that never I never thought. I mean, first of all, we're gonna get into every game, but we had Mahomes, Burrow, and Josh Allen all lose Week 1, and that's just in the AFC. We haven't even talked about the NFC and some of the other hot off the press NFL news. So, guys, are we ready to get into it? And I think Bob is, because the first game we're going to cover in the slate of Week 1 is Detroit at Kansas City. So we got Detroit 21, Kansas City 20. Bob, this is your team. What did you see, and how do you feel moving forward?
I just want to say, this was the first game of the season, right? I had to go through the effing ringer for 4 days because it was the only game anyone had seen. So it's the only game anyone could critique. And everyone likes to see the Chiefs lose, and we'll get into all that. But man, after the week is said and done, I feel more good about the Chiefs than any other team in the league. That goes for winners, losers, anyone. And
Of course you do. Of course you do. You're a homer, man.
I mean,
Man.
but let's talk about the game, and I'll get into what I think about the Chiefs here in a little bit. The game was frustrating. The first half was good. Mahomes was on fire. Defense was doing their thing, but I mean, Detroit was still getting yards on them, but we were holding them on points, right? So the defense played well, and I'm gonna say I battled against everyone in Discord and everything, and it just came up on the wide receivers. Mahomes was throwing dimes to everybody, putting it in their hands, and it was reminiscent of the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. It was very reminiscent, where the most famous throw that Mahomes ever had was he was falling to the ground and throwing it at the same time, landed it in, I think, Tyreek Hill's hands in the end zone, and it didn't come down with it. So it was just stuff like that. And Tony's getting a lot of flack for it, and I'm not for that. You know, I was pissed off at first, and I kind of stood back and I was like, damn, man, he deleted his Twitter account and everything. I was like, he had a bad day. You know, he's the reason why we came back and won in the Super Bowl.
I've reminded you on a regular basis how bad of a day he had.
No, I know, but I was pissed, you know.
It's on Discord, brother. Avant Docs was letting you know. Told me
I
needs
trust
to
everything Avant says. Yeah.
super glue on his gloves. Because homeboy couldn't catch a cold.
No, it was terrible. And,
Yeah.
and he was the reason we lost. There was two reasons. There's two plays, and everyone's like, well, they should have did this, they should have did that. But in my eyes, it was the pick six. It was in his hands, and he deflected it up. And Hill has done this to Mahomes. I wanted to look up a stat of how many interceptions Mahomes has that were tipped by wide receivers, because it happens all the time. But he tipped it up, and there's a wide, he got it. And then later on in the game, I don't know if it was third or fourth quarter, but there was another pass that if he would have caught it, we would have probably iced the game and we'd been fine. But I think it was the wide receivers. Everyone else blames everything. There was also that weird thing with Jawan Taylor. I want to talk about that. Like, I agree with it, what you were saying, Logan. Like, that was strange, wasn't it? How he was lined up and he kept jumping off sides.
Dude, you guys literally got off scot-free on close to like 100 yards worth of penalties. Like, it was ridiculous.
But I've been seeing things
I couldn't believe the offensive line movement from one player and not one ref threw the flag. It was
Not only was that guy jumping off early, he was lined up in the backfield for most of the game. And remember, old man Logan, I told you you're going to learn about Aiden Hutchinson this week.
I
That guy
know.
would have had 6 sacks lined up legally in this game.
But
No,
but what was
I'll
he
tell you what,
doing?
that is true. I will never forget that name, Aiden Hutchinson, again. In fact, when we cover the Lions part, I have something to say about that kid. But
But listen, there's a theory.
dude, the amount of yards and like, did you like? It's like his back leg. He was like having a seizure,
Yeah, it was.
and it never got called.
Yeah.
Like there was no like
Even
God,
Chris
it was so
Collinsworth.
bad.
Even Chris Collinsworth was talking about it the whole time. But listen,
That's the thing. If Chris Collinsworth calls you out, you know you're fucking up.
You have a problem, yeah.
Yeah, you have a problem.
but listen, there's this video on the internet that the guy was pointing out when he was shaking his leg. That means that they were going to pass, and it was like he was telling the team what he was doing. And when they weren't passing, he didn't shake his leg, and he was lined up differently every time. So, but I don't know why the team would allow him to do that. I don't know why the refs would allow him to do that. But I'm completely on your side about that. I was like, what the fuck? I've never seen anybody move that much. You can't even flinch, and you get a.
You know, and to be 100% honest, I was recording at that point, so I didn't get to watch all the game. But every now and again, I would turn my head and go, there's somebody on the offensive line that's doing something they shouldn't.
And they paid out the ass for this guy, like a lot of money to this dude. A lot.
So, Sturm, what did you think? What did you think? We're doing a deep dive on Kansas City Lions. What did you think?
Well, I agree with the whole Kadarius Toney thing. I mean, I can't believe that guy could not catch a ball. I mean, it was pretty ugly. But you can't just blame him for the Chiefs' loss. The Lions played a hell of a game in that night, and like I said, Aiden Hutchinson was really dominant. The defense was dominant. They didn't give up. You know what I mean? Like they played and they fought and they wanted it more than the Chiefs did. Frankly, I think I said this in last week's episode. You know, for them, this is their tone setting game for the whole year. They needed this game far more than the Chiefs did, and I think the two teams played that way. That's how they reflected. You could see that the way they were playing. That's why Kadarius Toney's dropping shit.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%.
Also, here's two things. I think not having Travis Kelce in the lineup really hurt the Chiefs offensively. I think that destroyed a bit of a security blanket, especially on plays. And here's a very interesting stat that came up in this game. The Chiefs in short yardage offense, they had 9 plays in which they needed 2 yards for a fresh set of downs, and they converted on 3 of them. And here's another glaring stat. They had 90 rushing yards total, and 45 of those were by Mahomes himself. So
where happened to Pacheco? Where's Pacheco there, Bob?
What's funny is me and Logan have been bitching about the running. He kept saying something about my running back. I was what? We're just fine.
No, I've been saying it all off season. I was saying it.
I was giving you credit for it.
Your team in short yardage situations is not good. You have no running game other than Patrick Mahomes, and this stat proves that without Travis Kelce, you guys are vulnerable.
Yeah.
So you need him back, and you need him back now. Yeah. Because you're facing fucking Jacksonville next week. And that team, granted, Richardson for the Colts, new quarterback, new pick, kid's a beast. We'll get into that. But, dude, Jacksonville is going to have to be dealt with. And you don't know what the health of your team is.
We'll get into that, because I have a lot to say about that as well. But I don't know what I was going to say. But I agree with you guys completely.
One thing I want to bring up about the game was that bizarre. At the end of the game, they had 3 timeouts. They were losing by what was it by a point? No, they were losing. What were they losing by 6? I can't remember now. Whatever it was, the Chiefs had the ball. with 3 timeouts, and it was 4th and 20, and they're going to go for it, and then they get the false start finally, and it's 4th and 25, and they still go for it.
Yeah.
What was behind that decision? I didn't understand that at all. The odds of getting a 4th and 25
I didn't understand that play either.
But
I know what play you're talking about. That was odd.
There was a long situation that we converted and they got it called back on a holding though, I think, and then that's when it ended up being 4th and 25, I believe. So once again, if coulda, shoulda, woulda, or whatever, if they wouldn't have got that, they wouldn't have been back that far.
Yeah,
but I think
they didn't get the 4th and 25, and then the line just ran out the clock. So
it was a strange game, and I'm not worried. It's week 1, and especially looking in the future, all the good teams that looked worse than the Chiefs. The Chiefs looked bad. Like, they really did. I'm not saying it was a good performance. They looked bad, but compared to some of these other top-tier teams that are compared with the Chiefs, I'm not worried, after
and that's what made this such a crazy weekend. It's like when you look at the AFC, it's like...
Yeah, the AFC got a huge shakeup. A huge fucking shakeup.
I mean... The Raiders are number 1 in the AFC West.
Sole possession of first place. Trust me, I'm well aware.
Not even close right now.
I will say for the Lions, again, Jared Goff, a fuckload of attempts since his last interception. I got brought to school. Sturmboch told me about Aiden Hutchinson, I looked him up. And this past game, he had 6 QB pressures. He did his job. He was dealing, doing his thing. My only issue with the Lions is that Marvin Jones Jr., for a vet where security is needed on 3rd downs, he didn't show up. He had a fumble, first of his career, so that was concerning. But I think the Lions are going to be okay overall. But I'm not going to lie. I think if Kansas City was at full strength, they probably would have won that game. But I did pick the Lions because Kelsey was out. So there's that.
And so while we're talking about the Chiefs, I want to talk about Chris Jones got his supposed deal he's been holding out for. Have you guys...
Yeah, we have to cover that. So Chris Jones is back. He signed. What was the deal for? I didn't catch it.
It's a long list of shit, man. But I guess what it comes out to is it's just a bunch of incentives. And if he reaches his incentives, which are pretty much you have to get defensive dude of the year, you have to get 15 sacks, you have to go to the Super Bowl, you have to win the Super Bowl, he can make back what he lost in like maybe a couple million. But if he doesn't do all those things, I don't even know if he makes back what he got. So what do you guys think about that? Like, what a weird situation.
He lost the first game paycheck, right? Whatever that was.
Yeah.
And he got fined $50,000 a day for every day he missed in training camp and practice, which was, what is that, a month and a half? So, yeah, I mean, he lost a ton of money because he was under contract. So that's what they say. Holding out doesn't make any sense under the current collective bargaining agreement.
It really doesn't.
But what's the point? Whenever you pretty much lost, and it's a 1-year contract. So what do you guys think is the idea here? Is that they're going to just get him on the field and get what they can out of him, franchise him? Are they going to let him walk? Are they going to franchise him and trade him?
I don't know what the long-term deal is. I mean, I think from his perspective, he wanted to get that Aaron Donald money or something close to it. The Chiefs weren't going to give it to him, had him under contract, so they had all the leverage in the world. So this is like a save face kind of deal for him. And I don't know. I don't think there's any prohibition on putting a franchise tag on him next year. They could do that. They'd have to pay him more money, but still just a 1-year deal. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The Chiefs are, they're starting to get into that kind of salary cap hell here where they paid Mahomes and they've had to shed salary, so we'll see how they do it. I don't know. He might be another cap casualty.
I will say the Chiefs, I don't remember his name, but I did take it as a note. The Chiefs first round draft pick, he had 2 QB pressures and 2 several QB pressures and a couple of hits.
What was our first round? I know I'm a Chief fan, but I don't remember who he was.
Defensive lineman.
Did we? Huh.
Yeah.
I know that Rashee Rice, I don't know what round he was pulled in, but he got a touchdown. He was the best wide receiver that game, and he was a rookie, so that was a plus. But
All right, so we're going to go to the games, the next slate of games. But last thought on this game, because we've got to move on. Bob, are you worried about your Chiefs?
Not at all, and I don't think anyone else is either.
All right, that says it all.
Are you guys worried about them? Do you think they're gonna? What do you guys think?
I don't think this really impacts their season. No, I wouldn't be worried if I were a Chiefs fan.
To be 100% honest, I feel like week 1 is the one game that doesn't really impact anybody's season. You've seen teams win the Super Bowl that have lost their first game.
Yeah, I agree.
It's week 1. Your identity is not set yet. All right, next game on the slate. We had New Orleans at Tennessee. New Orleans won the contest 16-15. Oh, by the way, Sturm was the only one in the last game that picked Detroit.
I thought you said you picked Detroit.
No, I didn't. I picked Kansas City.
Oh, all right.
I picked Kansas City. I did.
Nice.
I went where the numbers took me, and I got burned. But New Orleans at Tennessee. Now, Sturm, you're the only one that picked Tennessee. Everyone else picked New Orleans. We actually worked out on that pick. Derek Carr, 23 of 33, 305, 1 TD, 1 pick. They restructured a contract for Michael Thomas to keep the offense there. Their defense did a really good job picking off Tannehill 3 times. What did you see out of this game? I feel like with Tennessee, we know what we're getting out of Ryan Tannehill. We've watched this movie before. We know what's going on. I think Derek Carr, different offense. Saints still have a pretty obviously formidable defense after 3 takeaways. What are you making out of this game?
I take away from that Ryan Tannehill is he needs to go. 3 picks. I think they were all second half picks too, if I recall. And I mean, he pissed that game away. Is what happened. They would have absolutely won that game.
Which were absolutely outrageous. It caused him one of his picks.
Yeah, and even with 3 picks, New Orleans eked out a 1-point victory. I flipped through that game a little bit here or there. It was a dog of a game, and I don't see unless I picked the Titans because I like Vrabel as a coach, and that team is always well coached.
Yeah,
and even though they lost the turnover battle so badly, they still could have won the game, almost kind of won the game. But it's hard to overcome your quarterback throwing 3 picks like that. So that's what happened. They need to work on that quarterback position. Otherwise, this is their season. This is what's going to happen. They're going to lose to teams they shouldn't lose to.
And we all said that last week. We all said that Tannehill's not that good.
I said and the biggest thing.
Tannehill has never lost. I don't remember Tannehill throwing 3 picks to cost a game like that. I mean, that was usually he's a decent game manager. And when you got Derrick Henry, just feed him the ball and throw dink and dunk. That's all you got to do.
That's the 8th. That game was the 8th in Tannehill's career that he's thrown 3 or more picks, and they shut Henry down in the second half. His numbers in the second half were abysmal.
I mean, you can't be one-dimensional, though. They know what you're going to do.
And that's the problem that I have with Tennessee. I do. I love Mike Vrabel, ex-Steeler, championship with the Patriots. Great player, great coach, but their problem is quarterback play. We know what Ryan Tannehill brings to the table, and it's not going to compete in the AFC. It's just not. So that's Saints Titans. We've got dude. Here we go. First big injury of the season. Baltimore at Houston. Baltimore put this shit away convincingly, 25-9. I think that vote for that game was unanimous. We didn't disagree on any of that.
No.
So I would actually say J.K. Dobbins out for the year. That's a huge loss. Baltimore quarterback, he did not play great. for the big contract that he got, that he wanted. Lamar Jackson did not really produce.
All the big contracts didn't. All the big contracts fell through this week.
He had multiple turnovers. That's not like Lamar Jackson. And now losing Dobbins for the year, that was their main running attack. I mean, can the team rebound? I mean, they still have a decent wide receiver core. Lamar Jackson is always a threat to run the ball. But, I mean, that's a huge blow, especially competing in the AFC North. But then we go to Houston. We got CJ Stroud, number 2. He was inconsistent. He was 28 of 44 for 242. No touchdowns. He lost a fumble. He's a rookie. We know this. We know it's to be expected, but I don't feel like we have a lot to talk about with Houston because they're not going to do anything. But Baltimore, what do you guys think? What's this going to mean for the AFC North?
So I have a little. First, I have a fantasy question. Since Dobbins is out, who's the next up in line running back wise? Because I was wanting to pick someone off claims, but is it Gus Edwards? Is that who's the second RB?
I would have to check the depth chart. I don't know.
I think that's right. I think it is him. They have there's another running back they have, and I don't know which is the better one to pick up. I picked up. I did because I have Dobbins on 2 of my fantasy leagues, so I was like, "Oh shit!" So I had to cut him, and I picked up. I think I picked up Gus Edwards as his replacement. So I think right now, so according to ESPN right now, he is the starting running back, Gus Edwards.
Yeah, and that sucks for Dobbins. But see, I drafted Dobbins last year, and he did something happened. I don't know if he got injured or something, but I think people should quit drafting on him. I think he's a good running back, but I don't think he can stay healthy.
But the running backs at Baltimore, they always seem to have problems keeping their running backs healthy. Yeah. So if there's a team that can do this, who can manage this problem, it's probably Baltimore. They have plenty of experience doing it.
And again, with Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham Jr., that wide receiver core, I mean, they're gonna have plays downfield. It's just now it's a question of, is it going to be in more of Lamar Jackson's head to, well, if I need that 3 and 4, do I just run it? Do I just do it?
Yeah.
Because now the real teeth of the Baltimore running game is now not there. So that could be an issue going forward. All right, next we got Jacksonville, Indianapolis. Jacksonville 31, Indianapolis 21. My biggest takeaways were, dude, Anthony Richardson, that is a big boy. That is it.
He is a big guy. He's a big man, for sure.
I mean, we're talking about a rookie that was 24 of 37 for 223 yards, ran for a touchdown, and threw another.
Did he have any turnovers, though?
Not that I saw. Somebody check the stats out there, but not that I saw.
That's the $1 million question as a rookie. None of the rookie quarterbacks won this week. They all lost. His stats look good. I watched a little bit of that game. You know, the Colts were never really.
There was a play I saw where they handed him the ball, and I think that was his rushing touchdown, and he looked like a fucking running back.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's the size of one, so yeah.
Freakish specimen that has good arm strength, and I mean, if Indianapolis can mold that kid, that could be dangerous. But again, the team that won the game, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. I think 3 fumbles by Jacksonville is a big fucking concern. I'd like there to be a work on ball security.
One thing I've noticed with Trevor Lawrence, dude, he's a badass when it comes to throwing touchdowns in the corner of the end zone. Do you notice how he's always doing that? Like, he's getting him the receivers perfectly at the edge of the end zone, and he's masterful at that, man. I'm seeing him do strikes right there.
The other thing that Jacksonville likes to do is they like to play in rhythm, and I think what happens is if there wasn't a lot of explosive plays on Jacksonville's end. Like I don't think there were any huge touchdown throws. Like this was one of those wins that it was a grind. It was a division opponent. And Trevor Lawrence got knocked on his ass 6 different times. I mean, he was under some pressure. He was under some duress. So I think I want to hear what Sturm has to say, but I knew the Jaguars were going to win this game, but I did think Indy was going to put up a fight because Anthony Richardson's a beast. Sturm, what do you got?
Yeah, he actually played better than I expected him to play, especially in week 1. He had a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. No turnovers. Their defense played pretty well. I mean, all in all, they did about as well as I think you could expect when they're playing a team like the Jaguars. So, I mean, AFC South, maybe they can make some noise when they play the Texans and they play the who's the other team in that division? Jags, Texans, Colts, and Titans. Oh yeah, Titans. That could be a good game there too. We'll see how he does. His first game, he needs to keep improving and getting better. But so far, not a bad start for Richardson.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely.
Calvin Ridley is the other big story from that game. He had a big game coming back.
No, he did. Fantasy players would love that too if they just happened to, pick him up. Next game on the slate, we had Washington and Arizona. Washington 20, Arizona 16. Man, my biggest takeaway is if Washington does not get that offensive line fix, it's going to be a long fucking day for Sam Howell. He was sacked 6 times, pressured 40% of the game. It was ugly. And for a team in Arizona that I still believe is tanking for Caleb Williams, they had 6 sacks by 5 different players. Like, their defense moves. And there was no run game for Washington. None. They did not support Sam Howell at all. I mean, they ran 18 times for 56 yards. It was absolutely horrendous. It was dreadful. They squeaked out a win, but I mean, this is kind of a shit game. But I mean, what do you guys think? Is Arizona really tanking, or are they trying to compete?
I have a question. Why isn't Kyler Murray playing?
Injured.
He's hurt.
How long is he out for?
The year.
Oh, the year.
No, he's not out the whole year. He's only out I think he's only on IR for 4 weeks.
But they're not re-signing his ass. No, that's trade bait right there. Yeah, I called it. I'm calling it. That's trade bait for Caleb Williams. Trade bait. Maybe a second round.
What's
maybe
so great about this guy?
5th round pick.
What's so great about this guy that everyone's tanking for? Who is
Caleb Williams?
Yeah, I don't watch.
Have you watched him play for USC?
I don't watch college football.
Oh my God. Kid is
he won the Heisman last year. This year he's a senior, or is he a junior? I don't know, but he could win back-to-back Heismans, and he lights it up. He's a good passer,
and he plays for USC.
Yeah,
USC.
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm starting to watch college football. FSU is about 30-40 minutes from me, so it's a big deal around here. And I guess FSU's kicking ass, so we've been watching their games, and they're pretty fun to watch. And they're a lot like the Chiefs as well. So I'm getting into it slowly. So I'll watch USC too and check this kid out.
I will say for the Cardinals offensively, I think their quarterback is Joshua Dobbs, who was a Steelers backup. They were 4 of 14 on 3rd down. That's dreadful. So you're not moving the ball. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Commanders, I mean, we knew who was going to win. I think this pick was unanimous as well. I don't think any of us saw Arizona actually winning this game. So, quick thoughts, move on.
Well, real quick, I think that, as you said, people are thinking the Cardinals are tanking. I mean, ownership might be tanking, but the players aren't tanking. They obviously played their ass off. And if Colt McCoy's on that team, do they win that game? Because, man, they really played the Commanders tough.
Right? That is a good point because they just dumped him before the season started. And the fact that their defense had that many sacks by that many different players, that's defensive scheming. They were playing. Yeah. They weren't tanking.
Their defense scored a touchdown.
That's right. They did.
Yep.
They did. All right. Oh, God. I'm going to love this one. Tampa Bay at Minnesota. Okay. What the fuck?
One of the surprises of the week, right, guys?
Yeah, I didn't see this happening at all. I didn't watch it. I didn't get to watch it, but I'm just, like you said, what the fuck? So, like, tell me what happened. I wasn't able to catch it.
Well, here's my biggest thing. I think Tampa Bay squeaked out a win, in my opinion. Some shit happened, but Baker Mayfield was Baker Mayfield. In the second half, was he better? Yeah. But in the first half, the fucking dude was 3 for 11 for 12 yards until the 2-minute warning.
Are you serious?
He was fucking Baker Mayfield.
Okay, you can't talk shit on him because there's going to be another game I want to talk about that wasn't much better.
But, I mean, I will say their secondary played their fucking hearts out. I mean, they didn't have... And here's the other thing that I think killed Minnesota. Tampa Bay had no answer for Justin Jefferson. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the fucking dude had 150 yards. But everyone else didn't do shit. Everyone else on Minnesota was dead except Jefferson. So Tampa Bay let Jefferson get his shit, but shut down the rest of the Minnesota offense and dared Cousins to throw. And let me look at my notes. I'm pretty damn fucking sure Cousins had some turnovers.
Damn it, man. He always gets like, I'm always proud of him. Like he does good, and then it's like he like regresses. He takes like one step forward and two steps back. 3
Kirk Cousins turnovers. Motherfucker had 3. And I picked Minnesota. Granted,
3 turnovers, Kirk Cousins.
Their defense is shit. We know Minnesota's defense is shit. But I thought a Tampa Bay team coming into Minnesota with Baker Mayfield? And
the week one blues, man.
I'm going to leave it to you and Sturm. I got nothing. I was shocked.
That's all I got.
Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield is one of those guys. Like if you leave him in a game, he can bite you in the ass at the end. And that happened to the Raiders last year against the Rams when they signed him first game of the season. He came back in the last drive of the game for a game-winning drive. They had more yards on their last drive against that game against the Raiders than they had an entire game. So Baker's one of those guys, like he's a good motivator. He's got a lot of moxie. And if you let him hang around, he can bite you. And I think that's what the Vikings did. And he finally bit him.
Yeah, some adjustments were made at the second half because if I remember correctly, both of his touchdown passes were in the second half.
Yeah, and I think most of Justin Jefferson's yards were in the first half for whatever reason.
I think they were. They had no answer to Jefferson, but other than that, anyone else he threw to got picked off. I mean, 3 turnovers. And, for Tampa Bay, my biggest issue is they had no run game. They were averaging 2.5 yards per carry. And if your man behind center is Baker Mayfield, you better up your fucking run game. Because I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck that he beat Minnesota, but
we lost Sturm.
You better improve. I think we did lose Sturm.
All right, we can keep going though, but I don't know where he went. Continue on, my friend.
Some concerns for Minnesota. They did lose their center to some of the notes I took. They lost their center to a back injury.
Damn, really? What's his name?
Garrett Bradbury, and he missed time last season as well. That I remember last season. I do remember the Vikings losing their center, and he was not carded, but taken off the field for a back injury. Did not return, so that could be a concern. But That's Tampa and Minnesota.
Yeah, move
All right,
on.
let's move on.
You guys hear me? I got disconnected for a sec.
Yes,
You're
sir.
good.
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
good. We're just ending the old
All right.
Minnesota talk.
Here we go. Here we go. 49ers at Pittsburgh.
Oh, here we go. Let's hear it. What happened? Oh my God.
All right, so here's what happened. And granted, I have different TVs, so I have Red Zone on, and I had the other game on. The Steelers weren't. Pittsburgh was not ready to play. Not a defense of that caliber. Not that motivated. And I caught this stat shortly after the game that past couple seasons, San Fran has started off very slowly, and it's kind of cost them home field advantage throughout the NFC in some occasions. So I think it was a message for them to start out strong. I think preseason, myself included, believed a little bit too much in the Steeler hype of the offense and what could happen. And what I saw on Sunday was typical Matt Canada offense. No run, pass, and Kenny Pickett was just not there. There were overthrows, there were missed targets, there was no run game. For Christ's sakes, the Steelers didn't get their first down until 2 minutes before the end of the first half.
Yeah, they had that one drive at the end of the first half, and that was basically their whole offense for the entire game.
And you know what? That is a highlight. Two different things happened in that drive that I took away from, that I watched. I did watch our rookie tight end, Darnell Washington, pancake Mr. Bosa. I watched it. You can look it up. It's there. And Kenny Pickett did get his shit together when it counted and scored a touchdown. We were outmatched, outplayed, outcoached, outmuscled, but we got a touchdown at the end of the first half, and that was it. That was it. I don't like the offensive play calling. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the second play of the game was a pitch out to Austin. And I'm like, you're doing pitch outs on the number one defense in the league last year? What the fuck are you doing? They ranked 20th in pass defense. And you put all over your fucking website all these crazy catches that George Pickens make. But their secondary did a good job of taking away the long ball, too. So, the only bright spot I got, TJ Watt got 3 sacks, tied James Harrison in 91 games less. I took that as a note. I don't think it was 91. It was 61. Excuse me.
Damn, that's still a lot of games less.
So, we lost Cam Hayward to a groin surgery, out 8 to 9 weeks. That sucks. Wide receiver Johnson, hamstring, probably out 3 to 4. So we're not in a good place with Cleveland coming into town. We'll go into that when we go through our picks.
And they're physical, man. They like to play some physical ball. Browns do.
As for the Niners, that team, man, Brock Purdy was efficient. Brock Purdy made the right decisions. Brock Purdy made the plays that he made to. Christian McCaffrey was effective. I can't remember the name of that one wideout they have that burned Patrick Peterson twice for 2 touchdowns.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yep. So that is, I would say, out of all the games I watched week 1, San Francisco is one of the more complete teams offensively and defensively I saw week 1.
I'll agree, and I was talking shit on him last week. Major shit.
I have no excuses. I am a Steeler fan through and through, but you know what? Mike Tomlin was right. We got our teeth kicked in. We got our asses beat. And that's all I've got to say about that. All right, so let's talk about another snoozer. Atlanta at Carolina. I think we all picked Atlanta 24-10 over Carolina.
I was impressed by
Right?
the Atlanta running back. That was kind of cool.
The Atlanta running back and Desmond Riddler, his completion percentage was pretty good. He wasn't bad.
Okay, I need you to pronounce the Falcons running back's name for me, please.
What's his name?
It's like Al Gajir or something like that. Al Gazir.
Well, go. You got it. I don't need to pronounce
No,
it.
I want you to do it because I love your pronunciations.
No, I'm not doing it.
He's not even their number one, and he still got 2 touchdowns. He did a great. He's pretty good. I don't know if they're doing it by committee or what, but they both. That Algier guy had a really great game.
And whoever got him in the late rounds of the draft, I don't know who got him. Lucked out. You know when you're leaving and it's auto picking for you, and you don't expect that. Yeah.
Well, this is a shit game. Bryce Young struggled. I would say the biggest thing for Atlanta is, I think, signing safety Jesse Bates III as the highest paid safety in the NFL paid off. I mean, let's see. I wrote down his numbers. He had 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, a forced fumble in one game.
Jesus, that's worth the money, I'd say.
Yeah. So I think Atlanta is pretty good on the defensive end. Again, Desmond Riddler isn't bad. Atlanta, with that offensive line and how they can run the ball, I think could make some noise in their division. And the Panthers, well, they're going to be the Panthers. What do you guys think on that game?
I mean, all you can do is go up when you're the Falcons because you've been the worst team for 2 to 3, 4 years now. So anything is a surprise. Anything is a positive. Yeah, I think they'll do better than they have been. They'll probably be a 6-7 win team, is my guess. But as far as the game, no, I don't have much else to say about it.
No, it was Bryant Young's first game, or Bryce Young, excuse me, his first game, and he was okay. Two picks and a touchdown. It was tied up at one point, 10-10, but then the Falcons kind of took over and scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, 24-10. Again, I don't see much really happening with either team this season, so not much to say.
All right, next game. Oh, big one. And this is one that Sturm got right. He nailed it because everyone else picked the other team. Cleveland at Cincinnati. Cleveland 24, Cincinnati 3. Now, Sturm, we're going to start this one out with you, my man. Brother, you picked it. I should have listened. I should have looked at the stats and the numbers and the fact that Cleveland has won the 9 out of 11. I should have looked at that, but I didn't. What was it about this game that made you pick Cleveland? And what did you think?
Yeah, I think the reason I picked Cleveland was because there was going to be a tough divisional game in Cleveland week 1. I didn't think it would be this kind of game. If anything, I thought it was going to probably be a shootout between the two. Of course, there was a downpour in Cleveland. That didn't help anything. But I just figured that the Browns would have enough. I think they like you said, they've won like 5 in a row or 5 out of 6 against Cincinnati, so they've had Joe Burrow's number.
Oh, they have,
and for sure. So I just thought that this would be the game for them to win. If they're gonna win a game against Cincinnati, this was the one they were gonna win. And I was stunned. Like, this was Joe Burrow's worst game as a professional quarterback, and it's not even close. And he didn't look at anything.
It's one of the worst by any quarterback in like 20 years. In 20 years.
No. Joe Burrow last season opened up against the Steelers, and he lost throwing 4 interceptions. Granted, Joe Burrow entered a very interesting number of being now the 3rd quarterback in NFL history in the past 10 years that has attempted to throw the ball over 30 times and didn't break 100 yards because the Cleveland defense was on him like a cheap suit the entire game. I mean, it was just terrible.
It's just shocking when you have a quarterback of his caliber that he could play that bad.
And what did you make of Cincinnati, Sturm? What the fuck was up with Joe Burrow? That was just
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna chalk it up as just first week of the season, kind of like the Chiefs. The Bengals and the Chiefs are very similar to me. Like they are teams that are gonna turn it on when the season starts to get we get a little more deeper into it. I think they're gonna turn it on. They'll probably be just fine, but I don't know. I mean, part of me thought maybe this was a lingering issue with the calf injury. Maybe that has something to do with it too. But the other thing, like his body language over on the sidelines, the guy looked like a beaten dog over there. It was crazy.
no. There were some times that the red zone clicked over to that game, and I did notice that it seemed like every other play, Cleveland was blitzing, and I did look it up. Cleveland blitzed over 50% of the time in that game. And that was the highest that any team actually blitzed in week one. And they are under a new defensive coordinator, so they're going to want to make a statement. And Myles Garrett and Desarius Smith were in his face almost every dropback. I mean, Joe Burrow he almost had no time to work with. That's what I saw in that
The
game.
cornerbacks, the entire defense is really good. The cornerbacks, is it Denzel Ward as well?
No, and Cleveland, and again, let's also take into effect the rain, the weather. Passing game is not going to be what it is, but Cleveland's secondary did do a good job of locking off Chase and keeping Joe Burrow under pressure. So I think Cleveland had a game plan and they ran it. Deshaun Watson is still
He's rusty.
Nay?
I think he's rusty, and think of him as like a rookie again. I think he's getting back into it, and I think he's going to only get better. I think he's just getting a rhythm. That's what I'm thinking.
He only had a $154 in the air. I mean, again, the weather, but ugh.
It wasn't impressive, but it was better than what I thought he was going to do. Because I watched that game, and boy, was it glorious as a Chiefs fan.
All right.
No, hold on. I got to get because everyone talks shit about my team. I got to say something about this. Because the fucking some big Cincinnati guy said that their quarterback would never put up a stat like Mahomes did in the second half. And he put up the stuff. And it was bad. It was like 2 completions for whatever. But it was still, in that second half, Mahomes had more completions in those 2 passes than he had all game. So I don't want to hear it from no other Burrow people.
I hate when football fans say that. My quarterback never did that. Guess what? They play long enough, they will.
And that's what made me mad. That's why they keep talking shit. The whole fan base, like, we don't say nothing until afterwards. Always. We never talk until we wait. And if we don't back it up, because it always curses. It gives people bulletin board material. It just fucks you over. I'm just talking.
I know. You're a Chiefs fan, and you have this hatred in your heart for Joe Burrow because that's who you have to deal with at the end of the year.
Yeah, and if it's somebody else the next year, it'll be them that year. Because usually I feel sorry for him. Because I feel sorry for Josh Allen right now, but I hated him a year or 2 ago because that's who was our enemies at that time. But now I feel bad for the guy. But anyway, go ahead. I know.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We had the LA Rams at Seattle. Rams 30, Seattle 13. Who the fuck picked this game?
I don't think any of us picked it, did we?
No, we did.
Someone picked the Rams? Who?
No, I think we all picked Seattle, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
We all, yeah.
I think we talked about Geno Smith and all that. I just didn't think.
We all picked Seattle. So let's kind of get into it. This was a big kind of a news cycle throughout a lot of the major sports channels. So obviously the Rams don't have Cooper Kupp, but goddamn, Stafford completed passes to 5 different players. 24 of 38 for 334. I mean, god damn. Where the fuck did this come from?
It came out of left field, man, for sure.
I mean, one of the receivers for the Rams is a rookie, and Cooper Kupp is out. Yeah, no, I caught that because that was a big stat that came up on my feed. I think it's Puka Nakua, the Rams rookie receiver, 10 catches, $119 for a rookie against that Seattle defense. That is absurd.
You know, it's the thing about this game.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, just the thing about this game. You know, I was surprised at first, but when you think about it, the Rams still have Matthew Stafford, they still have Aaron Donald, they still have McVay as their coach. So we shouldn't be all that surprised that those three could get it together and get a win. I'm a little surprised by the margin. And of course, the Seahawks are no slouch, but at the end of the day, you know, this team is 2 years removed from a Super Bowl. So should we really be that surprised?
Yeah, but for 426 yards against Pete Carroll week 1, that's nobody thought that out of the Rams.
Seattle isn't what it used to be.
Everybody had the Rams in the basement of this division without question. Now,
except for the Cardinals, they're in the basement. They're third place, the Rams.
And the Seahawks just looked. I mean, did you guys see that video of Aaron Donald busting through the line? And I think Geno Smith was like, oh, or some shit. He said something.
I heard about it. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
He
said something like, "Oh my god," or whatever.
Oh my god! Aaron Donald just got shot out of a cannon, ready to kill him. I mean, the Seahawks imploded in the fourth quarter. It was just they didn't play a good game, and the Rams did. So the Rams could be a little better. I doubt it, because next week they play the 49ers and the Seahawks play the Lions. So there's that. All right, Sturm, here we go, brother. You have the floor.
Yeah. Raiders Broncos, are we up?
Right. Vegas 17. Denver 16. I took some notes. Through the red zone, I caught a little bit, chunks of the game. But what do you got? This is your team.
So it was sweet. First of all, this is the 7th straight win over the Broncos, which is always awesome. Love to beat the Broncos for sure.
Yep, I did write that down. Yep.
And it was one of those games where last year we had lost this game by 10. This year we showed a lot of fight, a lot of doggedness, took the lead, lost the lead, came back. Not only did we come back, take the lead late, then we stopped them, made them punt with 5 minutes left, and we ran out the clock, which something we would have never done last year. So it was a great game. Not perfect. A lot of stuff to improve on. There were turnovers. There were penalties that essentially were the exact same as turnovers. We had a horrible roughing the punter call. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I saw that. I heard about it. I didn't see it. I heard about it.
Luke Masterson just destroyed the Broncos punter's plant leg and got a roughing the punter call. That kept the drive alive. I think it was their touchdown drive in the second quarter. And then we caused one thing the Raiders defense doesn't do and needs to do is get turnovers. Russell Wilson fumbles and we get a penalty for illegal contact. So that was basically a turnover on our part. And then Garoppolo throws a red zone pick. So lots of stuff to clean up. But what I really took away from the game was I loved the determination and the grit. This is a team that fought for this win that would have collapsed last year and lost this game. I do question. Jacobs didn't have a great game, but I think he's coming back from the holdout. I didn't see Hunter Renfrow at all. Like this guy, I don't know what's going on with him.
No, that was in my notes. He was on
zeros. Jacoby Myers is awesome. 2 touchdowns. Can't beat that. Devontae had a good game, but I think his production will pick up. I was really curious about Tyree Wilson, the first round draft pick. He had, I think, 1 assist or 1 tackle or something. And I don't remember seeing him a lot in the play. But holy cow, Max Crosby, man, that guy is
He's relentless.
unstoppable.
He's absolutely relentless. He's like TJ Watt. He just doesn't stop.
There was one drive, it was 1st and 10. Crosby just destroys the line and gets to the line. He gets just tackled by the running back. Obvious hold, they call it. So now it's like 1st and 20. Next play, and it runs some kind of screen or something. I don't remember all the exact plays. Crosby goes in, busts up the screen for like a 5-yard loss, 2nd and 25. And then on 3rd down, I think he sacks Russell Wilson. It was like that one series, he completely destroyed the Denver offense, and they had to punt. It was awesome. It was like the best series I ever saw.
Is Russell Wilson washed up? Like, I didn't get to watch the game. Is he done?
I don't think it's washed up. I don't think him and Pete Carroll are on the same page. Or not Pete Carroll. Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
No, they're not on the same page yet. They're not.
I don't think they're on the same page, and I don't think Peyton is the quarterback he used to be. He's always been more of a game manager, but back in the day, he could win it for you if he had to. I don't know if he can anymore.
Well, the one thing I will say, and it came on Red Zone. We actually I watched the end of it, and I took notes on it. That Raiders 4th quarter go ahead drive. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo was 4 of 5 for 60 yards.
Yeah.
And the 6-yard pass to Jacoby Myers that sealed it. I mean, I look at some of the stats and some of the things that he did. He had 3 completions of at least 10 yards on that drive, and his 8-yard scramble on 3rd and 7 sealed it. Jimmy Garoppolo actually played a really good game. He really did. Now, Hunter Renfrow, Sturm, that's a question. You've got to get that dude back in the game.
He hasn't done anything in 3 years. I always draft him.
Last year he was hurt a lot and stuff, and this year, well, it's one game, but like he was not even. I don't even remember them throwing the ball to the guy once. Frankly, I just don't think he fits Jacob McDaniel's system, Josh McDaniel's system. He's probably on his way out.
No, I did look at my numbers here on my notes. He wasn't targeted. He wasn't thrown to.
He wasn't even thrown to, not even once.
No.
Yeah.
Once.
I'd like to know how many plays he was actually in for, because I don't even remember him on the goddamn field.
And the other thing, with you guys matched up against the Bills, you can't just like your running back is going to have to do a lot better, and you can't just throw Jacoby Myers all day.
No, we need to do better to beat the Bills for sure.
Yeah. So as for the Broncos, they lost. I mean, Patrick Surtain was good. I mean, I don't know.
Did you see they opened the game with an onside kick? Did you see that?
Yeah. I caught a replay of it on SportsCenter. Yeah.
Yeah. And it failed. They were trying to be aggressive, and the Raiders just were better. The Raiders just played a better game. That's all.
Better. And the Broncos still have work to do. All right.
Sorry, Broncos fans. But you have a Raider and a Chiefs fan on your hosting the show.
This might be a good time that I want to make this point, because if you look at the AFC right now, and we mentioned this already, Raiders are alone first place in the AFC West. But let's look at all the contenders in the AFC. The Bengals got destroyed, right? The Bills lost. The Jets won the game, but they lost their quarterback. Obviously, the Chiefs lost, and the Chargers lost, and the Dolphins won, and the Ravens won. So, like, as a Raiders fan, I'm sitting here, I'm looking around. I know it's only week 1, obviously. There's a lot of football left, but all of the contenders, like the usual suspects who we're looking to win the AFC, they're already all 0-1. Or in the case of the Jets, they're sitting there with Zach Wilson, not knowing what the fuck's going to happen. I like where the season's breaking already. This is looking good.
Well, let's break away to the NFC real quick and talk about the next game on the slate. We had Green Bay at Chicago. Green Bay won it 38, Chicago 20. Goddamn, Jordan Love. 3 touchdowns, decent yardage. Green Bay defense made some plays when it needed to. Chicago, yeah, no Claypool, DJ Moore, not much. Justin Fields looked lost. What are we making out of this game? I mean, I don't know if I still pick Detroit to win the division, but I think Green Bay could make it interesting.
So I saw a meme that said that the Jets are gonna, in about 15 years, the Jets are gonna be real happy because they're gonna get Jordan Love, right? Because of Favre, and then Aaron Rodgers. But I think they got a bright future, man. I didn't know much about Jordan Love, but he seems to be progressing every year. And if he scored 3 touchdowns, and he's still relatively new to all of it, that's pretty insane. I know it's just I know it's the Bears. I know they're not great, but I think they're going to be.
Yeah, before we anoint him the next Hall of Fame quarterback for the Packers, let's
I'm not saying that. I just thought it was a funny meme because after he went off, they said that they were like, "Yeah, we'll be set in 15." I just thought it was a funny meme, but I'm not anointing him. I don't even care, to be honest, about what they do because it's in the NFC.
The one thing that impressed me about Jordan Love is that the fact that he did all that without Christian Watson. He's out. That was their most talented wideout, and he still, again, even without Aaron Rodgers, still owned the Bears. They played very efficiently. Their defense played really well. But
I mean, was there a 3 touchdown game by Aaron Rodgers last year? I bet you there wasn't.
No, I'm sure there was.
Aaron Rodgers, he was pretty bad. He was pretty bad last year. So I mean,
this is what I have to say. I watched a good chunk of this game. The halftime score was 10-6. So it was a closer than what it looked like. The Packers kind of ran away with it at the end of the game there. Even at the end of the fourth quarter, or end of the third quarter, it was 24-14.
Well, the 43rd interception return really changed momentum and put it back in Green Bay's favor.
Yeah. So I mean, I think with more efficient quarterback play from the Bears, this game could have been closer, especially if they could have taken a control earlier and gotten a lead, or at least any lead or a big lead. That's how I want to see Jordan Love. Can he handle that? Because it's easy to play from the front. Can he play from behind? That's the real question.
There it is. All right. This was one of the 5 games that we were actually going to do a real deep dive in because God fucking damn was it exciting. Holy shit. This was the game of the week, in my opinion. Miami at LA. Miami takes it 36-34. Holy shit. It seemed like red zone was flipping to this game every couple of fucking minutes because somebody was scoring. So
this one was a track meet for sure. It was crazy.
What do you guys got for this game? Because I got a couple.
Hill is a fucking beast and is the best wide receiver in the game right now. Not saying ever. I'm not just saying it because he's a former Chief. Dude is a fucking beast. He can jump like he's 6'11", and he torches people. And what was the stats? He got how much? Was it 200?
2 touchdowns. And over 200 yards, yeah.
And he's done that many times. He's done that in a half before. Like, the dude is insane. Miami's awesome. As long as Tua's on, the entire team is scary. But it's all revolves around Tua. Is he on? Is he having a good day? Like, I think you take him.
Tua had 466 yards with 3 touchdowns, and he was 8 of 14 on throws of at least 15 air yards.
Yeah, he was killing
Five of those went to Hill. And here's another. And I was watching this game, and I swear to God, I did. And it was funny because I thought about this and it was mentioned the next day on all the major sports channels. The Chargers were the only team that ran man coverage on defense the most week 1. Why the fuck are you not mixing up zone and man against Waddle and Hill? Do you just want to get fucking burned?
Remember, it's Brandon Staley is the head coach of the Chargers.
I know.
And I don't like the Chargers, but I feel bad for Justin Herbert. He should be on another team because
But that's the
they're
thing.
wasting
I
his
don't
talent.
feel sorry. You know what? It's week 1. If you look at what the Chargers did, for Christ's sakes, they had 234 rushing yards. And Justin Herbert still put up good yards in the air.
That's
And
true. That's true, yeah.
For the Dolphins, my biggest concern is that front seven because they're going to New England next week, and you can't stop the run. Bill Belichick is going to feast on your ass. Now, as for the Chargers, like defensively, man, your secondary, holy shit. Tua just fucking torched you guys and torched you badly. So
Well, I think that's one of those games where, yeah, they got torched, but I think that's one of those things that's just, this is the game where they were going back and forth, up and down the field. No one's going to be able to torch them like that, I don't think. No one else. We'll see.
Well, I mean, again, my biggest thing with the Dolphins is their front seven got dominated. The Chargers just, I mean, goddamn, they ran the ball down their throats. And if you can get Justin Herbert and that offense in a sync rhythm between run, pass, play, action, that team could make some noise in that division. And again, this is week 1. Lots of teams lose the first week and still make some shit happen. I mean, it was a great win for the Dolphins. Tua had a career day. It was outstanding. But
I want to talk about Eckler, though. Eckler is a game changer. You can he might get tackled, but if you give him the ball enough times, he's going to break it for some insane yardage. I mean, you can run him up the middle sometime, and he'll just break it for something crazy. He is one of the most fun running backs. He reminds me of like a Darren Sproles or something. I don't know, but I really like watching him. I don't like the Chargers.
I will say, and another interesting. I just read this in my notes. Another interesting thing that bothers me about Miami is that they didn't really have much of a pass rush. I think they might have sacked LA once, Justin Herbert once, but other than that, they did not have a lot of QB pressure. And again, that's another reason why it was a shootout. There was no defense, no pressure. It was just quarterbacks going back into the pocket and chucking it downfield. Granted, LA was running the ball a lot more, but it was your classic who's going to outscore who. Now, I will say one thing. That fucking pass interference play by LA at the end of the game at the end of the second half, that cost them the fucking game. Did you see that play? That ridiculous fucking push by the corner of LA against Miami just before the half was going to end, and that gave Miami placement and they kicked the field goal. Look at the score and what they lost by. That play at the end of the first half cost them that fucking game. That boneheaded fucking pass interference call cost them the game.
One thing we didn't mention the Raiders game, the Broncos missed an extra point and a 55-yard field goal, which could have won them the game as well. Kicking, man, it matters. Special teams.
Kicking, special teams matters.
Yep. I agree.
You guys got anything more for Dolphins, Chargers? But goddamn, that was a fun game to catch up on.
Like you said, it was the most entertaining game, for sure.
That one was fun to watch. I like that.
It was. All right, we got Philadelphia at New England. Philadelphia went to New England and won the game 25-20, regardless of Tom Brady coming out in his old Patriots uniform. New England won. But I will say, Philly looked sloppy. They very well could have lost that game. New England may have found a decent wide receiver. And goddamn, Mac Jones was actually moving the ball downfield. What did you guys make out of that matchup?
It started out 16-0. Was that the original score? And then
Yeah.
New England came back, and I caught the tail end of it, and I saw that 4th and 11 where the New England receiver just missed tapping his toe. Otherwise, they could have gone down and had a pretty big upset. I don't know if I say that's more of Philly, Philly sucking it up, or New England playing over their heads. I'm gonna lean towards that was Philly just maybe underestimating the Patriots, because I don't know. I don't put a lot of faith in Mac Jones, the Patriots these days.
No, I don't either, and I know Ezekiel Elliott coughed up a fumble, but I will say in defense of the Patriots, they were without their 2 starting guards, so the offensive line was already a liability. If they can get that line healthy and maybe get a bit of a run attack going, I'm not a believer in Mac Jones either, but he did make some throws in that game against Philly that made me go, huh, no shit. Philly, man, they look like a team that was just going to come in here and get an easy win. It seemed sloppy. Hurts just looked kind of out of sync in the first half. There was a lot of field goals, but the offense never really materialized. The defense played well. I mean, the offensive line was not very effective. That's normally a strength for Philly. But I don't know. Philly's got the Vikings next week, and the Patriots have the Dolphins.
Philly also has a short week. They're the Thursday night game.
That's right. So let's go to the game that nobody is, like, neither one of us are really going to talk too much about because it was a blowout of biblical proportions. Dallas at New York Giants. I picked the Giants for the upset, and I mean, I picked the Steelers for the upset. Look how that pick went. Dallas 40, New York Giants 0. In all honesty, I was with my beautiful bride-to-be at her dad's house. She had her Giant jersey on, ready to go. And before halftime, she took her jersey off and looked at me and said, "We're going home." And I went, "Okay."
I've had many of those games as well.
Yeah, it was.
That sucks.
Guys,
it's not funny.
I'm not even gonna read a stat because. Oh, wait a minute. I'll read one stat. I still, and again, they didn't have to, but I still don't believe in Dak Prescott. His numbers were pedestrian, but then again, they didn't have to be great. The Giants didn't score. So, I don't honestly, Sturm, Bob, what do you guys think? Is Dallas this good?
Their defense
Or were the Giants that bad?
Their defense is pretty damn good, man. Their defense is pretty good. It's better than...
Yeah, I think the Giants are that bad. They're really that bad.
But they just went to the playoffs. I know they didn't do amazing, but...
Yeah, I think they...
Minnesota team whose defense was in the basement of the league.
But also, they just paid him how much? $250 million?
Exactly. They overpaid him.
That's a lot of money. He has done nothing to prove that. These other quarterbacks have proved it somewhat, that they are successful consistently. He has never proved that.
All right, but while we go into this, can we also all agree that week 1 doesn't define you? The Giants could.
I've been saying that all week.
They could rebound from this, but God damn, a 40-0 drubbing at home by the Cowgirls. Holy shit!
I also saw a meme, and it was one of the worst losses maybe ever, or something like that.
No, that's the. In fact, the last time Dallas had a shutout victory like that, that came up. Goddamn. Last time the Cowboys opened the year with the dismantling of the Giants was in 95, 35-0. They went on to win the Super Bowl that year.
Oh, God. I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes on that topic.
I'm just here to put out the stats and the numbers. You guys want crazy stats? I'll bring them, and that's what I'm bringing to this conversation. Other than that, I can't talk about the Giants. They didn't do shit. They didn't score a point. There's no numbers to talk about. The offensive line is a disaster. The defense couldn't stop anything. Special teams was in disarray. And the Dallas defense is just all over the place. So, Dallas plays the Jets next week. That's going to be interesting as fuck. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to drink the cowboy Kool-Aid ever. So what do you guys think?
They're going to be an 11-win team. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to do what the Cowboys always do. And I'll let you finish that, and you know what that is. That's what I think. What do you think, Stern?
Did Micah Parsons say this is like one of the best defenses of all time or something? Didn't he make that comment after the game?
Yeah, but then Saucy, the cornerback for the Jets, said we could be like the Bears. Like, dude,
they're pretty
everybody
fucking
wants
good,
to be
man.
the best.
After we'll get to that game, but they look pretty good. I'm not going to say they're that good, but they were pretty good.
No, we're going to get to that. But I don't know, man. I mean, the NFC only. I don't know. We'll get into this in our next week's picks.
That's why the Dallas Cowboys look good right now. It's because there's no one in the NFC to compete with, so they look good now. Because everyone's over AFC.
Eagles. It's the Eagles and the Niners. Those two teams.
Niners
right
and the Cowboys are where it's at.
Yeah.
You've got to wait for. Unfortunately, the NFC, as the season goes on, we're going to find out who fills out the rest of the playoff brackets as contenders.
Hey, speaking of that, we need to declare who we think is going to be in the Super Bowl. We can do we can stop in the middle of the halfway point and maybe like make a new prediction or something. But all podcasts do that, right? Where we think who's going to be, so we can check back and see, oh, I was right, or do we not want to do that?
We can do that.
Like at the end of the show or something. I don't mean like right this second, declare it. I'm just saying we need to do it early on because we forgot to do it last week. So
we should do it maybe we'll do it the halfway point. Let's do that. Let's wait till like that midway through the season.
Yeah, let's go the halfway point. That way we kind of got a good idea of what's going on. Because this like week one, nobody saw.
That's what's fun about it. You take what you know right now, and then you guess, and then at the halfway point, you can change it. But whatever. Okay, just go on with whatever the next game is.
All right, well, it's the last one. Then we go into our picks. Buffalo at New York Jets. Jets won 22-16. I'm going to open this up with, I know we're all football fans. There's teams that we don't like. Yeah, we talk about, I hope you break a fucking leg. But really, sometimes we don't. I watched all of Hard Knocks with the Jets. I wasn't buying into the hype that they were like Super Bowl contenders, but I enjoyed the story. I was a fan. And I was looking forward to last night. And 5 plays in, Aaron Rodgers out for the season. Achilles.
So
torn,
sad, dude.
done,
I feel so bad.
out. And not just this year, but very well next year, due to the healing and the rehab. And at his age,
he's done, isn't he? Don't you think he's done?
And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to ask the panel. He very well could be done. But that is the status of Aaron Rodgers. So before we go into the game, Sturm, Bob, what are your reactions to this injury? And is Aaron Rodgers done? Is the window closed? Is there no comeback whatsoever?
I think it's heart-wrenching, man. I think it's horrible. I mean, I've always liked Aaron Rodgers. I've had discussions where people despise the guy. I've always liked him. I've never had anything wrong with him. I don't love it, but I was rooting for him. Like you said, I was really looking forward to what they did this year.
I was too.
You
I
know,
was.
this game, opening game, Monday night against the Bills. What
He
more could
ran
you ask for?
and everything. Like, oh my god.
And you summed it up. The hype, I mean, it was all ready to go. And it was like all that hype went in on his ankle and it just exploded.
It was the only time leading up to that start that ESPN, Fox Sports, everybody actually talked about a team more than they did the Cowboys.
Yes. And I was very thankful for that as well.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, we're not talking about the Cowboys. I'm so happy. Because the media just, Jerry Jones, they just suck the dick, couple the balls, swallow the gravy. It's just every fucking show. The Cowboys are going to do this. Oh my god, I'm so sick of the fucking Cowboys. So fine, they talked about the Jets, and I went, all right, cool. I'm gonna buy into this. I'm gonna watch Hard Knocks. I'm all right. Fuck it. He brought in Randall Cobb, bunch of other players, offensive coordinator, all this shit. Their defense is supposedly supposed to be dominant, and then disaster.
Yeah.
Sturm, what are your thoughts?
It was probably one of the most shocking injuries I can remember. I mean, when you think back, like I remember when Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, tore his ACL in week Chiefs. That was the Chiefs' fault, by the way. In week 1 in that season, and I think it was 2007. And I remember when Randall Cunningham, when that Eagles were stacked that year, and he tore his ACL in week 1 against the Packers. I mean, it's along those lines. It doesn't happen very often when you see a team so stacked, so loaded, primed for a run week 1 to lose their quarterback. And I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I wasn't rooting for the injury, but I guess I'm not heartbroken over it because injuries happen. And this is part of the NFL. It sucks. I think that the Jets season is over. Zach Wilson's not going to take them. Maybe they make the playoffs, but they're going to get one and done.
No, I don't
think they may not. I don't know. I mean, so who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers can coach him up and be his biggest cheerleader.
Dude, he looks like a 12-year-old. He looks like my 12-year-old with a helmet on. Like, this isn't to take away from him. I want the kid to do good, but me and my girlfriend, when he got drafted, I was like, is that a little kid? Like, I mean, he is just not NFL material, I don't think. And if I was him, I'd be scared shitless because he looks like a 12-year-old running around with some giants. And I feel sorry for him.
One of the other things we're gonna have to deal with is the Jets are in like 4 or 5 primetime games this year. Yeah. So we're gonna have to watch Zach Wilson in primetime and then probably get blown out. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will play again. I mean, the guy's commitment to the NFL and playing was kind of borderline at most, I would say, before this, because he'd go to the sweat lodge and all that shit. So, man, this might be enough. This might be he's ready to go be the host of Jeopardy kind of thing,
Well, it was funny because I was very interested in what happened. I tuned in to First Take, and Stephen A. and Shannon actually had Pat McAfee on. And as we know, Pat McAfee has interviewed Aaron Rodgers numerous times because Aaron Rodgers didn't like going to mainstream sports media. But, I mean, Pat McAfee did mention that he played for Green Bay for so long. He goes to the Jets, 5 plays in, Achilles, blown, done for the year. Could be a sign, but he's not going to rule out his competitive nature. But I think at 38 and how the body heals and an injury of that magnitude and the rehab you got to go through, I mean, maybe Aaron Rodgers would be better just sitting on an island somewhere, smoking doobage and saying, you know what? I got some of the better numbers in the NFL. I want a ring. I'm good. I'm done.
I just can't see him, like you're saying, his age and just going back on that leg. You already have so much wear and tear on it. That's one of the worst things that could happen to you as a quarterback. And, they say a lot of times they're scared to put that leverage on that leg because it's happened before and you don't ever play the same. They say that about a lot of ones, but I think he's done. I hope he comes back and he has a comeback year, but I just don't see that ever happening.
So now that we've kind of covered the Aaron Rodgers injury, and as tragic as it is, there's still a game to talk about. So, fucking Zach Wilson comes in, and there he is.
Plays
Now,
like Zach Wilson.
I don't know if you guys were watching Eli and Peyton, but Peyton didn't have a lot of nice things to say about Mr. Zach.
No, I didn't watch that feed, but he didn't. I mean, he didn't play great. He played. He threw a pick.
He got a touchdown eventually.
I will say, and I did take this down. The Jets running back Breece Hall, first year back since ACL surgery, he rushed for 127 yards on 10 carries.
He was the reason they won that game.
Impressive.
On 10 carries.
Yep.
So they need that kid to seriously step up. While Sauce Gardner did not give up huge plays, he did allow 5 receptions on 5 targets. Our defense is going to be like the Bears.
But they embarrassed the Bills, man. They're one of the best offenses in the league. I don't know the Bills. I don't know if I said Bills or Bears. That's a pretty big deal. And you have Zach Wilson, and you still beat him.
Actually, when we get to the Bills, I think Sturm's going to agree with me. There are some serious fucking question marks.
Well, obviously, this stems back to last year. I'm not saying they're great or amazing or the best.
No,
they're one of the best, over a lot.
I think last night's performance is a bad omen of things to come for Buffalo. Granted, it was against a very good Jet defense, but you look at the recklessness that Josh Allen played. That pick in the end zone, he was under pressure and he just chucked it. He literally just fucking threw it up with reckless abandon, hoping that Stephon Diggs was going to come down with it.
I said that too. Fuck it. Stephon's down there somewhere. Mahomes used to do the same thing with Hill.
And it was another game, and this was very similar to last year. It's another game where Josh Allen is putting the game on his back, and he's hoping for Stephon Diggs or himself to pay it off. No other receiver that night had more than 40 yards receiving. It was either Stephon Diggs or Josh Allen or nothing.
That's Diggs' fault because he's always bitching about not getting the ball enough, right? So I think that's coming into play.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. I think defenses are scheming for Diggs. I think they're looking at zone defense on different areas that Josh Allen could bolt and run for. I think the Bills' defense is becoming predictable. The Bills' offense is becoming predictable because they only have 2 weapons. They don't have much of a run game other than Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs is only one man, and when you're not implementing other options on offense, you're one-dimensional. And fucking Zach Wilson beat them.
I'm trying to be nice to the Bills, all right?
I think you're right. The stat that stood out to me that I heard was since he came in the league, Josh Allen leads the league in turnovers.
Oh my,
85 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like 84 or something like that. I can't remember.
And he had 4 turnovers Monday night. He had 4. And they made a priority this offseason on adding some weapons around Josh Allen. Really? Where'd they go? Did you leave him in the locker room?
But hey, no matter how good or bad either team is, I want to talk about the actual game because I turned it off. And my dad's like, "Are you watching this game?" Because, we're Chief fans. We don't like the Bills. We root against them. And I was like, "No, I just turned it off. I figured the Bills would win because Rodgers is out." And I turned it on, and they're walking up, and it's overtime. And I was like, "Oh shit, this will be fun. It's overtime." Dude, they stopped the Bills, and then they punt it to, what is his name, Sturm? Do you guys remember the guy's name?
No, I don't know his name. He's some rookie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that he might have been undrafted as well. So it was some big story. They kept talking about it, but they punted it to this guy, and it was one of the coolest fucking returns. I can't think of an overtime I've seen decided by a kickoff return. I know there are. I just haven't seen any in the near future. But it was so cool, and it was such a good return, and it was such a cool way to end the game, though. And it was just a good game.
So I can only think of one other time that I've been watching football where a punt return has been a walk-off punt return touchdown, and that was the other time I remember is when the Giants were playing the Eagles in the last week of the season, and Coughlin was the coach, and Deshaun Jackson was the Eagles returner, and they said, "Don't punt it down the field, kick it out of bounds."
He'll get you.
And what does the punter do? He punts it straight down the middle of the field. No time left. Deshaun Jackson rips it back for the game-winning touchdown. And I think that meant the Eagles go to the playoffs and the Giants were out. So,
dude was a mean return.
Almost never happens. Yeah.
Tom Coughlin, my God.
Walk-off punt return touchdowns. They almost never happen. So it's cool to see that.
I will say the Bills lost. Their defense wasn't horrible. I mean, Zach Wilson was running for his life. in many fucking... I mean, come on. Five plays into Aaron Rodgers' career as a Jet, and he got hit and his ACL is torn. And Zach Wilson was running for his life. So the Bills' defense is going to come to play. Again, my only worry about Buffalo is the fact that it's going to become the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs show, and no one else is going to step up. Because when you play a team like Miami with multiple weapons that can spread out the field and turn it into a track meet, you better have somebody more than a number one. That's all I'm going to say about Buffalo. I still think they're going to win the division, but Monday night that did not help my pick.
Xavier,
I think this is the Dolphins division now. I think they're going to win.
Sturm, it very well could be. That was impressive what they did. But again, LA's head up their ass at the end of that first half cost them the game.
Badger said Xavier Gibson was the return guy, the punt return guy.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we have covered every game. Now comes the point where we are now going to put in the rearview mirror everything about week one. We now have some data, some stats, how teams are playing leading into week two. We have matchups. We have picks. Sturm is the champ for the week. So now start. Yep. So again, let's round of applause. No, let's get like Bobby smoked us.
I'm clapping.
No,
but what were the records?
Sturm kicked our asses week one. He had it on lockdown. So let's redeem ourselves and let's start week two. And the first game on the slate, week two, Thursday night. Vikings at Eagles, Philly by 7. Sturm, because you're the champion, you get to pick every game. You're the first. You get to make the first pick.
I'll take it. I think Eagles are going to cover. Short week. I think the Vikings are. We didn't say this when we covered the Vikings, but they were something like 10-0 last year in one-score games.
No,
right away off the.
Yeah, no, close games. They were terrible. Their defense is dreadful. Yep.
Karma's catching them. They don't have Dalvin Cook. They could have used Dalvin Cook last week. I think the short week, the road trip in Philly is probably the best or second best team in the NFC. Eagles will win. They win by 10, 31-21.
All right. Sturm's got Philly. Bob, what do you got for this game?
Eagles, 34-25.
I also am going to pick the Phillies. I don't. And after watching that quarterback series on Netflix, I feel bad for Kirk Cousins, but they're going 0-2. I mean, I don't. Darius Slay and that defense may be able to slow down Jefferson a little bit, but with the talent that the Eagles have, not only exactly. I'm not only just saying the Eagles, but the Eagles cover easily. So I will get the Mrs. Picks and let you know by tomorrow. But the three of us, we're all picking Philly. Next game. Packers at Falcons. Packers by 2.
This is a tough one, man.
There's actually a lot of tough matchups this week. But Sturm, with everything, what do you got?
Another road trip for the Packers. This time, I think the Falcons are going to be a little bit better run for the Packers' money. I think I like the Falcons in this game. I think I'm going to take the home team. You said by 2. I think that sounds about right to me. I think the Falcons. They got Drake London, 0 catches, 0 yards. They got to get him in the offense. They had a strong running game. I think they're going to win. I'm going to say Falcons 17, Packers 14.
Okay. Bob, what do you got?
I'm going to say Packers 21-13.
All right. So Sturm's got Atlanta. Bob's got Atlanta. Or no, Bob's got Green Bay. You picked Green Bay, right?
Yeah, Green Bay. 21-13.
Man. It's just the fact they didn't have Drake London involved at all is a little bothersome. Their defense is solid again. We talked about it. Jesse Bates made a huge shitload of plays. Jordan Love, he did. I mean, it seemed very scripted. It's on the road. You know what? I think Jordan Love puts on another case that he wasn't just backup for Aaron Rodgers, that he learned a lot. And yeah, I'm gonna take Green Bay with this game. All right, we've got Jesus Christ, Sturm, the pressure's on. Yeah. Get ready, brother. Las Vegas and Buffalo.
I don't think the whole season I'm ever going to pick against my Raiders. I don't know. We'll see. They're not going to go 17-0. I get it. But I hate picking against my team. I'll never do it. So this is a game though that I would, if I were going to be a neutral picker, I'd probably pick Buffalo. But I love how gritty the Raiders played. Buffalo is a little bit reeling, which makes me think they might try. This is a game they're gonna have to get to right the train, get it back on the tracks. But if Josh Allen, he keeps pushing and he keeps pressing, Crosby gets in the backfield, causes some disruption. I think I see the Raiders sneaking one out in Buffalo. This is the time to do it too, because it's week 2. There's not a lot of pressure, no weather. Raiders are going to win 27-24.
I'm sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. What's the game?
Oh my God, Las Vegas and Buffalo.
Well, that's going to be a good one. I have to go with Buffalo, don't I? Buffalo 28-24.
Yeah, Sturm, I like Las Vegas. I like what Garoppolo's doing. I wish your running back had did more. I don't know if he's going to be able to accomplish a lot more against the Buffalo defense the way it played this past Monday. I think after a 4 turnover performance, I think Josh Allen rebounds in Buffalo. I've been in that stadium when the team unveils. That is going to be absolutely nuts. The Bills can't go 0-2. I've got to take Buffalo.
That's another pickup for me, boys. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you just continue to do the opposite of us, you'll probably just win.
But I will say, Buffalo at 9.5. No.
Oh wow, they're 9.5 point favorites. Yeah, I would take that.
No,
I would take that bet.
Yeah, I'm not taking 9.5 at all. No, I'm not doing that. Ravens at Bengals. Cincinnati by 3.5, which is shocking.
I am thinking that the Bengals have to rebound,
Yeah,
and I think
so.
they can't go 0-2, and they would don't if they lost this game, they'd be 0-2 in the division, and a home loss too. So I think the Bengals rally. I think they're going to win this game by 3.5. Yeah, I think they're going to win by 3.5. I say Bengals 27, Ravens 20.
But also remember, Baltimore would go. Well,
They won. They won.
They'd be 1-1. All right. No, that's right. That's right. Oh,
I'm gonna say
God.
Ravens. Oh, go ahead.
So,
I'm sorry, man.
No. Sturm's got Cincy. I'm gonna. Oh fuck, man, this is a rough game because you just don't know. And it's a division game. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with it. I'll take Cincy. Bob,
I'm going to say 20 or 24-21 Ravens.
that might be Bob's. That might be what gets him bragging rights. That could be his.
The only
way.
thing I can think of is I think you guys be right, but there might be the chance where his injury is still bothering him. That's the only thing I can think of why he performed like that, because I'm just as surprised. I mean, I can talk shit all I want, but I can't believe he did that, and that it was that bad. So his injury might still be nagging him. That's why I think they might lose. If not, if he's fine, I think they'll win, but I'm going to go with that theory.
Well, since he was favored by 3.5, the weather is supposed to be great. Field dries up. Joe Burrow should have another week to prepare and do his thing. So yeah, I'll take Cincy with it too. We got Seattle at Detroit. Detroit favored by 6.
Yeah, that sounds right to me too.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take Detroit in this game. I really am.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions. I think they'll cover.
Yeah.
I'd say Lions 17. Seahawks 3. 17-3.
Lions defense. Okay. Bob, what do you got?
Lions 13-28.
All right. Oh, God. I like this matchup. I do. I don't know why, but I do. I think I know who's going to win, but I like it. Chargers at Titans. LA by 3.
Chargers. They're going to right the ship, and their offense is too much for the Titans D, and I think Tannehill is just...
As long as they have Ryan Tannehill behind center, they are not going to make it.
Chargers 35, Titans 14.
Damn, 35? Holy shit. Bob, what do you got?
I mean, remember, they scored 30 points on Miami, so...
Miami's defense, while it's improved, it's still Miami.
This is another one where I could see it being an upset, though. Because the Chargers are just unpredictable in every way. When you think they're going to lose, they do the opposite. And vice versa.
I ain't gonna fucking help you, but I know what I would tell you.
28-21 Chargers.
All right. Here we go. Chicago at Tampa Bay. Justin Fields going to Florida to take on a man who has more commercials than playoff appearances, Mr. Baker Mayfield.
Who did you pick in the last one, Logan? Did you pick the Chargers too?
I did. I did. I really thought Justin Fields that offense. I thought they were. I honestly thought they would blow out the Dolphins. I didn't know what to make from Tua, but goddamn, this past week, man, I don't even know. That's a track meet. And the fact that they played man most of the fucking game didn't make any sense to me. So, Bears at Bucks. Tampa Bay favored by 3.
I say Bears.
Oh, Sturmboch.
I say Bears too.
I'll say Bears like 27-26. 1 point.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close one too. I don't know what the score would be, but I think it's going to be the Bears.
I feel like with what the Bucks did last week, week 1 on the pass defense, again, they couldn't stop Justin Jefferson, but they stopped everyone else. If they can do the same to Mike Evans and make Baker Mayfield win the game, I think the versatility of Justin Fields and running the ball and having another week of preparation with that offense, I don't know. Fuck.
See, this is where I think the Baker Mayfield inconsistency kicks in. They win a game on the road, they go home and they're going to take a shit. You'll see.
It's so weird because whenever Baker Mayfield plays, just grab a handful of dice and throw it and pray. I'm actually gonna. Oh fuck! I'm actually gonna go with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay at home with Mike Evans and what that defense did last week, and Baker Mayfield having another week. Yeah, I'm gonna take Tampa Bay. All right, Bob. Here we go. Here's your moment. Here's your pick. Here's your game. Chiefs and Jaguars.
You guys are gonna be surprised, but they might lose again. Something tells me that Jaguars are pissed off from last year. They probably want it more than the Chiefs do.
What's Kelsey's status?
I don't think he's playing again. I haven't heard. I don't know, but it hasn't been said. Oh, he's playing for sure.
Storm, have you heard?
I haven't heard anything, and no news is bad news, if you ask me.
No, in the NFL it is. No news is bad news.
Yeah, so I'm thinking probably 3 to 4 weeks for him. So I think they're going to lose again. I think it's going to be tougher than they think. I just think they're going to get caught off guard. Like I said, Chiefs eliminated them from in the playoffs. I bet they're pissed off. It's also a former Chiefs offensive coordinator as their coach. So he has a lot to play for, a lot to prove. I think Trevor Lawrence is getting better every single year. He's not regressing, or not yet. And I think that we're not guaranteed that our wide receiver core can do it. No Kelsey. We're not going to get CJ back this game. It's going to be a close one. And I think we might get upset again if we don't step our shit up. And I was really worried about a lot of shit, including that right tackle of ours doing that weird shit. That makes me wonder, can he even block for us? So,
well, to be honest, I think the line says it all. The fact that you're only favored by 3, I think there's a lot of doubters out there, obviously.
And another thing is, I'm picking Jacksonville, and if we win, it's worth being wrong over. So, and if we lose, at least I got a point. So I'm going to say Jacksonville. It'll be close again. It'll probably be a little higher scoring than the last week. So I'm going to say 30-28. Or is that right? Does that make sense math-wise? Or 20? I'll say 27. I'm trying to think how that works math-wise.
Well,
20,
they miss extra points and shit these days. Go for
you
two.
never know.
So,
It could be-
I'll
you
say
never know.
27-30. We'll say that. But I'm picking Jacksonville. Don't hate me, Chief.
Wow,
Chief
going against his team. Ouch.
Well,
I'm going with KC. I got KC on this one.
yeah, I think I'm going to roll with Kansas City on this too. The fact that you guys got Chris Jones back, you signed him.
But he's not playing, though. He's not playing.
Why won't he play?
Why wouldn't he play? Nick Bosa played, and that was 3 days out.
Oh, I don't know. I just didn't.
No.
They haven't said he's going to yet or not.
No, Chris Jones will play.
Unless he's hurt, he's going to play. Yeah,
No,
he's going to play. They might put him on a snap count, but he's going to play.
Again, man, fuck. My biggest issue is I want to know the status of Travis Kelce's health. If he's out, I mean, dude, that's such a huge factor into who could win this game. And if your wide receivers don't step the fuck up, it could be a long day against Jacksonville.
It's a loss.
It really.
Yeah, I agree.
Do we know where Kelce is? Is it day to day? I mean, do we know what his status is?
I'll look it up here while we're talking, but I don't know right offhand.
Well, Sturm picked Kansas City, and you know what? Fuck it. I don't need to know. I'm picking Kansas City. Bob picked Jacksonville.
Seems backwards, I think.
I know I'm a terrible Chief fan, but I got to get my scores back up, guys. Come on.
All right, Colts at Texans. I'm Sturm.
This is a dumpster fire of a game, don't you think? I mean, it's the who's going to get the first win as a rookie quarterback. I'm going to go with the Colts and Anthony Richardson. They played a little bit better than the Texans last week, so I'm going to give them the nod, something like 21-20.
No, I'd go with Indianapolis too. I feel like Richardson has a better chance to win the game than Houston does. And I feel like Indy has better playmakers. Bob, what do you got?
I'm sorry, I was looking up. It's Indy and who? Who are they playing?
Indy at Houston.
Oh yeah, Indianapolis will smoke them. I bet it's gonna be like 34-17. Because I agree, that guy looked pretty good, and I think if you put him against like a low bottom team, he's probably gonna go off for some good fantasy value as well.
All right, this next pick, let's wrap this one up real quick. 49ers at Rams.
Oof. I'm picking first, huh? The Niners' performance in Week 1 was so impressive. Rams have two rookie wide receivers, or I think they're both rookies. The guys who did well last week.
They did,
and I think Brock Purdy's better than Geno Smith, and I think that they're just such a much more complete team than the Seahawks. I think that they're going to win. Niners. It might be a little bit closer than we would expect. I'll say Niners 20, Rams 10.
All right. I got the Niners too. Bob, what do you got?
Shit. You make me want to pick against you guys when you do this. I could see the Rams pulling an upset. It wouldn't be crazy. I'll say 49ers 31-30.
All right. Oh my God! Here's another great matchup, folks. Giants at Cardinals.
That's the one I'm keeping
Well,
an eye
if
on.
the Giants lose this one, write them off. Their season's over.
You know what? The only thing that gives me pause is the fact of how well, excuse me, I dropped my pencil, how well the Arizona defense played. And the Giants have offensive line issues to begin with, but after I'm no matter what I say, I'm gonna pick the Giants, but just because of the absolute ass beating they received the other night, yeah, I think Daniel Jones and Brian Daboll especially They rebound and they get a win in Arizona.
Yeah, I agree. Giants probably like 24-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giants. I don't know. Yeah, 25-10.
Now, obviously, at the end of this podcast, I will ask my lovely bride to be, who held her own last week with her picks. She might pick Arizona because she's so pissed off. We didn't
I
even
did it to my
finish the
team.
Giants game at her father's house. Before halftime, she ripped off her jersey, looked at me, and said, "We're leaving." And I went, "Okay, we're leaving."
That sucks, though.
I was fucking livid.
I'd be pissed as well.
All right, so Jesus Christ. Oh, I didn't write this. I guess I didn't write this one down. Okay. Hold on.
Come on, man, you're slacking.
Jets at Dallas.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I have a
Cowboys.
question. I forgot to ask you guys in the Jets. Do you think there's time for them to find like someone that's a little bit better than Zach Wilson at quarterback?
Yeah, they call Tom Brady.
Dude, they should. I'm not. I don't like Tom Brady, but they should.
There's zero chance of that. Do you know why?
Why?
Tom Brady is now part owner of the Raiders.
So you can't
there's
play?
no way. No, he couldn't even play for the Raiders. That's against league rules.
Interest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and to play for another team they would never permit, and he's never going to sell his stake in the Raiders to play for one season with the Jets.
And no offense to you, but why the Raiders? What was it about them that he wanted to buy into? Just
money. Vegas.
It was Vegas. I'm sure. Like they're the hottest ticket in the league right now.
Yeah.
And
Money.
he was going to go play. John Gruden. Instead of going to Tampa Bay, he was going to go to Las Vegas. John Gruden canked it.
Yep. I remember that. I don't know what you guys said, but
it's on you. We had Jets at Dallas. Sturm and I picked Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. It'll be pretty bad. I'm sure the defense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout too.
I know their defense will probably hold strong, but after a while, they're just going to get tired because they're going to be on the field all day.
All right.
Yeah, I think like 30-10. I said.
Commanders at Broncos. Denver by 3.5.
Oh, I hate to pick them, but probably the Broncos. I think the Commanders are just outmatched.
Rookie quarterback and Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. They're gonna figure this one out at home. Denver wins.
Yeah, I mean it's Sean Payton. He's not a scrub. So yeah, I agree.
Ooh, Sunday night. That's a good one.
Dolphins at Patriots. Now, man, god damn,
they're gonna get their ass beat.
I think Bill Belichick wants to win this game so bad.
But who?
I just don't know.
Even before this team, what team has had Bill Belichick's number? It's usually Miami. Miami has upset them many times.
But that's in Miami.
It's only in Miami?
Yeah, because Tom Brady never played well in warm weather.
Oh, okay.
Until he went to
Tampa.
Tampa.
But didn't last season Tom Brady played New England? I think Miami went up to New England and beat them, and that cost them a playoff spot, I think.
I don't know. But I think Miami's going to smoke them. I think Bill Belichick needs to retire.
My only reason behind that is because of the rushing yards that Miami gave up against the Chargers. Miami is a run-heavy kind of team, leaving play action and different options open for Mac Jones. I just don't know. It could be a very... My biggest issue is I don't know if New England has the secondary to deal with both Waddle and Tyreek Hill in terms of track meets and Tua just being Tua.
Didn't Jones have 3 touchdowns last week?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did all right then.
If New England can control the clock have long sustaining drives and keep the ball out of Tua's hands in New England, that could be a recipe for a win. And again, I know a lot of people have said Bill Belichick isn't shit without Tom Brady, but I feel like in situations like this, he's almost going to figure you out. So I don't know. But hey, the first choice isn't up to me. It's up to Sturm. So what do you got?
I got the Dolphins. I think they just have too much firepower on offense. The Patriots can't keep up. Dolphins 34, Patriots 17.
And you know why I like to talk shit in my podcast and get people thinking? God damn it, I didn't convince them. I think Miami will probably win this too. There's just too much firepower. There's just too much.
Yeah.
I think it could very well be another shootout, another high-scoring game, but I think Miami takes it.
Yeah, they just have way too much more talent. Unfortunately, like maybe Patriots make up for the lack of talent with the coach and other aspects, but they really just don't have a whole lot of talent on the team. And I think that's just going to overwhelm them in this game.
So you got Miami too?
Yeah, it's going to be a big margin, I think.
All right. Shit game. Here we go. Saints at Panthers. Panthers, rookie quarterback. Saints, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr he's legit. He's consistent more than he's not.
I'm taking the Saints in this game all day.
Yep.
Is there any reason why we got 2 Monday night games this week, Logan? You know?
No, I didn't catch. I don't know why. I don't know why we do.
It's a weird thing. They usually do that opening weekend. I'm not sure why they did it on week 2 this year. You guys are both picking the Saints, huh?
Yep. Really?
I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go there? All right.
All right. The Saints did not look all that impressive in week 1, but for 3 Ryan Tannehill turnovers, they would have lost.
Derek Carr was not bad, and yes, the defense picked Ryan Tannehill. What do you think they're going to do against C.J. Stroud?
Yeah, Monday night rookie quarterback. He's gonna want to show off what he can do. I have a feeling Carolina might steal this one. I don't know.
So are you picking Carolina?
I am going to pick Carolina. Yes, 17-14 Carolina.
All right.
If he gets that one right, we can never question him ever again.
No, we can't. All right. Here we go. Last game. God fucking damn it. Browns at Steelers.
Am I picking first, or you want to pick first? It's your team, Logan.
No, you're picking first, Arm. You got bragging rights.
This is a hard one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I know.
I would have picked Pittsburgh, but for their atrocious performance on Sunday. And what I think bothered me most about Pittsburgh's performance was just how lost Kenny Pickett looked through most of the game.
Oh,
now, was that the Niners?
Terrified. He was absolutely terrified.
The Niners defense, or is it Kenny Pickett regressing a little bit, or whatever? I don't know. I think that the problem with the Cincinnati or Cleveland is they have almost as good a defense as the Niners and Myles Garrett and the boys, and I think they're hungry. They want to beat Pittsburgh. They hate Pittsburgh, and I think Pittsburgh's reeling a little bit. I see a defensive battle, 13-10 Browns.
I'm going to take a lot of what Cleveland's defense did on the basis that Joe Burrow was still coming back from a calf injury. The weather was absolute shit. You couldn't get really good a foothold on passes. It was pouring rain. Weather for this game is projected to be good. It's at home again. I trust Mike Tomlin. I don't trust Matt Canada, but we'll see. I'm gonna be like Sturm. I'm having a really hard time with the talent that the Steelers have going 0-2. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, or I'm not taking Steelers. I'm taking Browns just because, man, I don't think Browns are going to make a deep playoff, but they've always been a decent during the season team, and yeah, I think that you guys will get better, but it's going to take a few games to get into the mode. And
I think T.J. Watt disrupts Deshaun Watson enough for him to make some mistakes. Our secondary improves.
You get him to fumble. He fumbles,
Yeah.
man. He likes to fumble. So
We're gonna have to worry about Myles Garrett in that defense, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with Pitt on this one.
but yeah, I pick Browns.
All right. Well, that is it, man. That is the picks. That is our review. That is the news. We started what? A little bit after 8:30, so 2 hours and change. That's where we like to keep it.
Yeah, we did good.
No, gentlemen, say what you want to say to the folks, and we will keep this train running. I will let all of you guys know tomorrow what the missus picked. I'm going to go down and pester her about her picks. And yeah, man. Oh, by the way, for next Tuesday, I will not be here.
Oh.
I am getting married on Saturday. And
Excuses.
I know.
Are you gonna watch football on Sunday?
No, I will. No,
Okay.
the wife, well, soon to be wife, and I never miss football. Sunday we'll be watching. I will have my picks submitted for the next week, so we keep the pick thing going.
We'll tell them what you pick on the show.
Yep.
So
I will not be here for next Tuesday, so I will leave it to you guys to bring up the games and talk about what
so
you
really
want to
it's
talk
on
about.
you, Sturm, to put any kind of in-depth analysis.
I'll have to do a little more homework then. I'm letting you guys know now. I will be missing the Tuesday after the Raiders play the Packers on Monday Night Football. That's Week 5 because I'm going to be in Vegas for that game.
Oh, dude,
I'm excited.
That is awesome, man.
Send pictures.
Yeah.
I got myself a costume. I'm gonna go dressed as Al Davis. It's gonna be amazing.
Fuck yeah.
We definitely need pictures, man, and that'll be your picture up on the screen from now on. All right.
That'll be
Oh, I got the whole gear, man. I'm set.
Also, for everyone else, if you're a Swigo fan, Thursday night, we've got Pico Burrito from Hollow Table News Network. We will be covering from top to bottom the GL Leia kit because it is.
Is it out?
Oh, yeah, it's out.
Oh, shit.
I've already read it. It's disgusting. So we will be covering that, folks, Thursday night. Bob, Avant, myself, Pico Burrito from Hollow Table News Network. Stay tuned for that. But from myself, from the sports desk of Bob, Sturm, and Old Man, you have our picks. You have our opinions. Thank you very much. I'm out. I got nothing else.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Take care, guys. It was a great podcast. Yep. Bye-bye.
Good night.